Gentlemen, thanks so much for taking time out. A great week visiting with folks here in Charlotte. And can we start with the boss?
Absolutely.
I
don't know about that.
First off, I've been at the helm now for 2 years up at App State, and you spent some time at Missouri, the transition to the SEC for Missouri. How much has that helped you with the transition to the Sun Belt?
Well, I do think it does help, because when we were at Missouri, we talked about, it's a 30-month transition, and we're seeing the same here. I would say that one change and kind of an outlier is the immediate success we've had in the sport of football. Typically you don't see that, right out of the gate when you're integrating into a new conference, and I'm sure Coach Fox will talk about it. It is significantly different from a travel, the way we train, the different type of athletes, the strength of the Sun Belt. Is all significantly different. So it takes a little time to get everybody used to it, to recruit to it, to learn where you're traveling to, and so that's taken some time. But it's been a good acclimation.
Coach Fox, is this guy any good at his job?
He does a great job.
Didn't mean to put you on.
That's a softball.
I said I was going to give these guys softballs. Hey, let's talk some basketball, Coach Fox. And I guess the best way to put it is you guys are rebuilding, but you're heading in the right direction, and you're doing it with local talent.
Yeah, Chuck, one of the youngest teams in the country, and that hasn't always been easy. I used to have a full head of hair going. And then
well, mine was a little darker the last time our paths crossed.
Yeah, that's true. That's because we had Curry at that point. But, we're going in the right direction. Some incredible guy, Isaac Johnson, as a freshman, had an incredible year. And right out of Providence Day, one of the best basketball schools in the country. And so, we're building it with Southeastern guys, more importantly, North Carolina guys, and we're excited the direction we're going.
Coach Satterfield, you guys have had great success, 27-5 over the last 32 games. I guess from what I read, recruiting went well, and you guys have what a coach loves to hear, a veteran-laden team coming back and some pretty good ball players.
Yeah, we do. I mean, recruiting, I think, went well. I don't know if you've ever talked to a head football coach at the end of recruiting say it didn't go well. We'll find that out when the guys get on campus this summer. But I think we do. We have a senior quarterback in Taylor Lamb that's one of the winningest quarterbacks in the country this year coming back. And anytime you have a quarterback, I think, at any level, it doesn't matter, you got to give yourself a chance to win. We do have that, and we have an outstanding defense. Our defense has been a top 10 defense in the country the last 2 years, and we have a ton of starters back. So we feel like that we got a pretty good team to be able to compete next year for the Sun Belt.
Doug, let's talk about the growth up at Boone. You guys continue to well, let's talk about the scheduling first off, not just in basketball, but in football. One of the biggest announcements earlier this year, a series with UNC, but you've also got Wake and Miami. I mean, when we all were talking 10, 15 years ago, I remember, Scott, covering you guys way back then, when there was talk of big-time football, some folks were like, man, can they do it? Well, you guys are doing it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question. So we started looking at, if we are going to ask our fan base to come up the mountain from wherever they might be or come from, the surrounding counties up in the high country, we needed to bring teams up there that they'd want to see. And part of the integration with the Sun Belt is they're just getting to know those other teams. So our conference teams are getting to know. And so we wanted to bring in part of our non-conference some other opponents that people would really get energized to see. And certainly, we did that with Miami, largest crowd we've ever had, first sellout since the new configuration of the stadium. And that energy really helped us. Certainly Wake Forest, the first one that really stepped up and said, we'll play an FBS game up in Boone, so we're thankful for that. That'll be this year. And then certainly our friends down in Chapel Hill as well. We talked to them quite a bit. A lot of respect for the work they do there in the athletic department. So we were able to get them to come up to Boone too. So again, part of it is, when we're at our level, you can just go play guarantee games or 1 game a year, 2 games a year, 3 games a year. What we really wanted to do is mix in and really try to reward those that invest in our program up in Boone at The Rock.
Coach Fox, how does the success on the football field help you on the basketball court?
Well, first of all, just in terms of recruiting, when Miami comes to town or any of Scott's games, it's an event. There's 25, 30,000 people up in Boone, and when we get guys on campus, our success rate is very high, and most of the times we do that. Obviously, it's around football games, and and just watching Scott and his staff work, that's where we want to be. We're building that tradition, we're building that culture. And they have that championship culture. So that's something, it's great for us. And, I'm fortunate we have a great relationship. And I'm able to go watch. I'm able to go take in what they do, talk to Scott. And so it's something, that's where we want to go. and we're well on our way. But having that right there is an awesome, is awesome coaching for us.
Yeah, and Scott, I think and I'm going to use South Carolina for an example. It seems like those head coaches down there feed off one another. You saw Frank Martin, Don Staley helps him, and then you've got Coach Muschamp when Coach Spurrier was there, and then you've got, Coach Holbrook, and then you've got Ray Tanner, who was the former baseball coach. It really takes every athletic program to help the other one. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think as coaches, it doesn't matter what sport it is.
Yeah.
If you're doing something good, you can relate to it in my particular sport. It doesn't matter if it's basketball, baseball, football. We're all doing the same thing. We're going out recruiting student athletes. We're trying to get the best, obviously, to come to our campus. And if you're all on the same campus, you're recruiting the same kind of person, high academic standards that we have at Appalachian State, and obviously a championship caliber athletic program. And I think that's what you want to continue to bring in. We do feed off of each other. One thing about Appalachian State I think maybe is unique and different than other schools is that we are one family. I know some people talk about it, but when you come on our campus, you get a sense of that. You get a sense for the family atmosphere from our athletic director all the way down to a student manager that may be providing balls or whatever for your practice, because we are one accord. And I think that is why we have a special place up there at Appalachian State and why we have so many championships on our belt.
And Doug, I know you've got your head basketball coach and head football coach here, but you've got, the whole athletic department at App, you guys, women's athletics especially, you've got some great things going on.
Yeah, we absolutely do. So we had 3 conference championships this year with football, women's cross country, wrestling. Last year we won women's indoor track and field. So the integration, like I mentioned earlier, is really starting to take hold in terms of how we compete. And what we talk about all the time is, first, are we getting our students that come up their degrees? So when I look at how are we doing, it's like how are we doing from a graduation success rate? And we're doing really, really well.
Coach Fox, I was going to say you've got a little free time here, but you never have any free time. As you set your sights, coming up on the fall, this past season, you guys were predicted to finish last. You ended up 6th in the conference. I would have to think maybe this year you might be predicted to finish 6th, so that tells me finish 1st.
You don't say that with the boss around. No, we want to. Our goal when we got here was to build a championship program, a program that has continued success, not just 1 year, not just 2 years. And I think where we're going. We're going to have that going forward. So we want to be competing for championships. We paid our dues with our young guys. We were young, and now it's time to start, for all that work, start paying off, especially for our players. They put the time in, and they deserve it. So it's going to be a fun year for us, coming up.
Coach Satterfield, spring practice, everything going, all systems go. And then I see on my cheat sheet here, you've got a couple of games coming up and a really big opener. Mm-hmm. Who's that team you're playing?
Yeah, it's a red and black team down in Georgia.
From Georgia?
Yeah, somewhere down in the middle of the state.
That gives the boys a little carrot to dangle from.
No question. Well, for us, last year we opened up in SEC at Tennessee. Yep. We went and played a great game. Didn't quite finish it, but I think we got noticed throughout the country that night. So our guys love to play, some of the teams from the SEC. I think Georgia is obviously a great football team. With obviously some of the best talent in the country. It's a gauge for our kids to be able to go out there and see how they can compete with those guys. So that's going to be an exciting day for us. We also are bringing Wake Forest up to Boone this year. That's going to be an exciting game. We used to play Wake Forest on a pretty consistent basis, 15, 20 years ago. Hadn't played them in a long time now. So our fan base is very excited about playing those guys, and really to get them to Boone is exciting. We mentioned the Miami game last year. We had over 35,000 in our stadium. We hold 24,500, so that's a pretty good capacity crowd there, and hopefully it'll be the same this year when Wake Forest comes to town.
Fantastic. I could sit here and talk to you guys all day, but they're not going to let me use up any more time. They already the news folks are mad at us because we took away some of their time. But, hey, Doug, thanks for coming to town, and congratulations on your success. Coach Fox, I've known you for a while on the good things coming. And these two guys, SUNY boys. You folks out there know what I'm talking about. SUNY Fredonia, SUNY Cortland, SUNY Geneseo. And I always say SUNY Fredonia, the poor man Syracuse. North Carolina native here. Coach Satterfield, thanks so much for your time, guys. Best of luck. We'll be in touch.
Thanks, Chuck.
Appreciate it.